And everybody is saying, well, this is a guy that's not even taking check downs. He's throwing 20 yards down the field on a dig route. So it's not the processing of all of that. When the ball.
A rumor is spreading like wildfire around the NFL. Additionally, it originates in Cleveland. People initially disregarded it. The Browns' quarterback room is being taken over by a rookie selected in the 5th round. No way. Simply clickbait. Just sound. However, the murmurs have persisted. They are actually becoming louder by the hour. Everyone in close proximity to Brown's camp is in agreement that something weird is taking place there. Shedeur Sanders is dominating, not simply making an impression.
I don't know if it has an impact on much, but Shedeur's been great. I mean, he's a lot of fun to be around in those meeting rooms, and I think so far there's been, at least once in the meeting room that he's made me crack a smile, and that's what it's all about. He's a young guy trying to learn some football and come out here and practice well and do those things. And like I said,
This was not intended to occur. Sanders had low hopes when he arrived. First-year positions are not given to 5th-round choices. Not with seasoned players like Dillon Gabriel, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett already present. However, that strategy is already falling apart, according to several sources. Shedeur Sanders has unexpectedly emerged as a serious danger to this team's QB1 mindset, leaving coaches frantic, teammates buzzing, and the front office possibly trying to find out how to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Great attitude, he's a hardworking guy. He has good head on his shoulders, and he's always positive, always optimistic, always keeps a smile on his face, and you like going to work with people who have that kind of attitude.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing for me. The stuff you talk, we've been talking about all the draft and pre-draft, but the superpowers that he has from the neck up, to me, that will help him get on the field faster than anything else will.
One of the Browns' most rigorous minicamp activities was where it all began. A full-speed move-the-ball exercise when every throw is observed and execution is crucial. Experiments are not appropriate at this time. This is not the time for beginners. However, Shedeur unexpectedly moved ahead of Dillon Gabriel. There was no build-up or announcement, simply a subtle change in rotation that immediately attracted attention. He didn't think twice or blink. He entered the huddle as if he had done it 1,000 times. He lit it up after that. Those observing claimed that Shedeur wasn't being cautious, he wasn't hitting running backs with checkdowns. He was driving the offense, hitting the routes with time, unleashing 20-yard lasers over the middle, and commanding rather than reacting or surviving. This wasn't a fluke, a source stated unequivocally. This was a claim that was 71 more than.
71% for his career. He completed 74% of his passes last year, despite being sacked about 42 times. 90 plus times over the 2 years that he was at Colorado. The brother can.
It's not just the throws that are truly frightening individuals within the company. It's how Sanders interprets the game in private. Coaches have stated that he is learning the playbook more quickly than any rookie they have ever seen. He sees it on the board, walks through it once, and then hits it in live reps like he's been running the play for 5 years, one assistant allegedly said to a coworker. That level of mental agility is abnormal, particularly for a 5th-round selection.
Or 1 to 2 to 3, he's got to do it more quickly, but he's custom made for that. But the way that he thinks and the way that he can see something on the board, take it to a walkthrough, and then bring it to a practice, that's seen
That's
very
how you win.
That's seen very.
That said, I'm told that he came into minicamps, and I spoke to people this weekend, and was as good a young third-day pick you could imagine in how he handled himself. Now, you're asking him to find a way to not only get on this roster, which he will, but to then be able to get reps in training camp and then win the job. That's asking a lot. However, you're asking a quarterback room that doesn't have that. There is no Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford in there. It is wide open. If you're thinking the best man can win, he might have them.
And think about this if you think this is simply hype. At Colorado last year, Shedeur completed 74% of his passes, completed more than 71% of his career. That's in spite of having been fired more than 90 times in only 2 seasons. Every week, he faced criticism while maintaining his surgical appearance, now has NFL weapons, an NFL offensive line, and the most recent camp tape shows him destroying defenders in practice. One thing unites all of the released clips. Big, sharp, over-the-middle throws, sideline fades, and red zone tight windows are examples of completions. Everything is present.
I'm dialed into ESPN Cleveland, so I'm watching this. I don't know what the hell those DBs
16
are doing.
of 18.
Yeah, I think I only saw one interception from all the quarterbacks. So I don't know what Ward and the boys are doing over there. But
be careful.
This made me think, if Kenny Pickett starts, then that shows me Kevin Stefanski feels like his job may be on the line. If he starts Shedeur, he has a little leeway. We can develop this guy. Because if you start Kenny Pickett, it's as if we have to win now. I was told Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel, one of those two are going to be the starter. I was told this a long time ago by somebody in the building. Flacco and Shedeur are going to be the third quarterback. I'm not sure they thought Shedeur would do.
However, here's the portion that is actually making headlines. The locker room is changing. The players are beginning to support Sanders. When questioned about the rookie, Browns All-Pro defensive end Myles Garrett didn't hold back. He claimed that Sanders makes people want to work with him because he always has a smile on his face. It's not lip service, that's a team leader quietly saying, "We see what's happening." And as of this week, it has been verified. Shedeur Sanders has been formally elevated to first-team reps by the Browns coaching staff. Not for a day, not as a gimmick, but as a valid test. They want to test if this young person, who was hardly noticed a month ago, can secure the entire position. The crazy thing is that it seems like he might.
This year. I would only start Joe Flacco or Kenny and probably Joe if, oh my gosh, this is a disaster. And if you're Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barrow, their head coach and general manager, you go, hey, if one of these two kids starts, we're going to get fired.
When you look behind the scenes, the tale becomes even more chaotic. Insiders claim that the initial strategy was to gradually pull Sanders along. He was supposed to be the third quarterback behind Gabriel and Flacco. Just a growing arm with some potential. However, everything was altered by the movie. While watching the footage, coaches noticed something they couldn't take away. Each representative was proficient. Each throw was made on schedule. Rumor has it that a front desk employee actually stated, "We thought we could stash him. We are now debating whether or not to start him." Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, is put in a cruel situation as a result. By week 3, supporters will be yelling for the Sanders if he chooses Gabriel or Kenny Pickett and they lose games early. However, the front office may argue that he started Shedeur too soon if the youngster suffers. There are rumors that Stefanski has a very short leash. According to an insider, Stefanski is coaching for his position if he starts Pickett. The GM is giving Sanders time to grow if he starts him. The stakes are that high. Don't assume that the other players in the quarterback room haven't noticed. Pickett is reportedly irritated behind the scenes, according to sources. Although Flacco is showing respect, he is aware of what is written on the wall. Gabriel was meant to be the dark horse. He is currently observing a novice walk by. "You can feel it," remarked an unidentified team member. The discomfort and tension. Everyone is anticipating Stefanski's call. Here's the reality, though. Politics is no longer an issue. It has to do with momentum. And Shedeur Sanders has it all right now. On the field, he's winning, and in the meeting rooms, he's winning. In the locker room, he's winning. The media is also catching up. Sanders is currently the Browns' best option, according to James Jones, who spoke on the air this week. Not the following year.
Speculation. He wanted Shedeur Sanders. The staff
He's accurate.
drafted Dylan Gabriel, Oregon, 2 rounds earlier.
I don't know why.
And they were doing that not because they necessarily loved Dylan Gabriel. They liked him, but they thought it would stop their impulse.
This is the question that everyone in Cleveland is wondering in private, even if they aren't ready to voice it aloud. Is Shedeur Sanders already this team's top quarterback? How long can the Browns afford to keep him off the field if he is? Because the takeover is already underway if these stories are accurate and everything that comes out of camp supports them. The Browns now face competition from more than just quarterbacks. They might have a revolution in quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders has earned the spotlight. He didn't ask for it. The Browns might have unintentionally discovered their future franchise quarterback unless something significant changes. Keep an eye out. The narrative is not complete. It is only the beginning. And that's where this story stops being a rumor and starts becoming a warning to the entire NFL. Because what's happening in Cleveland right now is bigger than a hot camp arm. It's bigger than a preseason competition. It's bigger than depth charts and draft positions. This is about a young quarterback who walked into a building with no expectations, and quietly started bending the future in his direction. Think about it. A 5th-round pick. No red carpet treatment. No guaranteed starting job. No media campaign built around him. Just a helmet, a playbook, and a room full of veterans who were supposed to be ahead of him. And yet, through preparation, confidence, and a mind that processes the game at a rare speed, Shedeur Sanders has forced the entire organization to pause and reevaluate everything they thought they knew. This is how real takeovers begin. Not with press conferences. Not with hype videos. But with reps. With command in the huddle. With trust in the meeting room. With players slowly starting to look at you like, yeah, that's our guy. The scary part for Cleveland isn't that Shedeur can throw. Plenty of quarterbacks can throw. It's that he sees the game before it happens. He anticipates. He manipulates. He understands leverage, timing, and coverage rotation like someone who's been in the league for years, not months. That's what changes franchises. That's what shortens rebuilds. That's what turns maybe into inevitable. And now the Browns are standing at a crossroads. Do they play it safe with the veterans and hope experience carries them? Or do they lean into the future and let the rookie with the sharpest mind in the room take the wheel? Because make no mistake, once a locker room starts believing in a quarterback, the clock starts ticking. You can delay it. You can manage it. You can try to control the narrative. But you can't stop it. Momentum in the NFL is a living thing. And right now, all of it is flowing toward Shedeur Sanders. What makes this moment even more powerful is the contrast. Just weeks ago, this same young man was walking through the tunnels of Stamford Bridge as a global brand, a cultural icon, a face of the next generation. Now he's back in the grind of the NFL, earning respect not with fashion or fame, but with film study, footwork, and fearless throws over the middle. 2 worlds. 1 identity. Same confidence. Same poise. Same belief that he belongs wherever the pressure is highest. And that's the common thread in every chapter of his rise. He doesn't wait for permission. He doesn't wait for validation. He doesn't wait for the moment to be perfect. He steps into it and makes it his. Cleveland didn't plan on finding their future quarterback like this. Not in the 5th round. Not in year 1. Not in a room already crowded with names and experience. But football has never cared about plans. It only cares about who can process faster, lead stronger, and deliver when the window is tight and the lights are bright. And right now, all signs are pointing to one name. So as training camp unfolds, as preseason snaps pile up, and as the whispers turn into headlines, understand this: you might be watching the birth of a franchise era in real time. Not a gradual transition. Not a slow rebuild. But a sudden realization that the answer has been in the building all along. The question is no longer if Shedeur Sanders is ready. The question is how long Cleveland can afford to keep him waiting. Because revolutions in the NFL don't announce themselves. They reveal themselves. And if these reports are even half true, then the takeover isn't coming. It's already started.